What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Backyard Barbecuing. Now this is part 2 of our rib video. So you can see the barrel is already going, and then right behind that we have our offset smoker with the beef ribs in it. Now catch video number 1, that's where you're gonna see the beef ribs, but we're gonna go ahead and continue on and start with our spare ribs. All right, stay tuned. So what you guys don't know is I've actually entered into my very first rib cook-off. Although it is an amateur's rib cook-off, I'm taking it pretty serious. So I'm dialing in times and flavors and also testing different cooking methods. I'm not 100% sure what I want to use to cook it. Everyone's telling me the barrel, but I really love cooking on my offset. And I've made videos of cooking ribs on the offset, but today I'm gonna test out the barrel. So here we go. What we have here are some pork spare ribs. What's allowed in this barbecue is back ribs or the spare ribs. I think I'm gonna go with spare ribs. So let's go ahead and open this up without spilling it so much. Put that down. Then we'll pat it dry. So as you've seen in previous videos, I like to get the pork spare ribs so that way I can do my own butchering. Not only am I saving some money, but also these are just practice ribs. So it's good to practice on some cheaper ribs. So we're gonna go ahead and take off the chine bone. To do that, we're gonna cut it down right there. Save that. Take off this flat meat. Then we're gonna come and kind of start squaring these things up. So we're gonna still take off some more fat here. A little bit of fat is okay, but too much won't have the time to render out, and it'll just be a fatty rib. And we're gonna square these things up. Those end bones will kind of just burn up and fall off, so. And then we're gonna wanna square them up. So we'll stick real close to the top bone there. And just cook them. See, we got any more flap? No. Just trim it up. So we got a little bone here, so we'll chop that off. And there you are, that easy. So that is looking pretty good to me. Now, when looking for some ribs, you really want to pay attention to get those bones as straight as you can. So that way when you're cutting into them, you can get a nice, clean, straight cut as opposed to a bunch of ribs that are diagonal. Now, these ones aren't too bad. Something we can work with. So let's get this membrane off. Simply get under it, start working it off. See if we can get it off in one go here. Slowly work that membrane off. Perfect. So we are looking pretty good there. So I think what I'm going to do this time around, since we're just practicing, so I don't typically like the mustard, as I said in the beef rib video, but we're going to go ahead and do it. We'll rub that in. And we're going to start seasoning this thing up. Now, Rob has made a Mate 2.0. I haven't got my hands on it yet, but I really look forward to it. And we're going to give this a light coating or dusting of Rob's Mate. And of course, using Rob's #1 rub here, the Trainwreck, we're going to throw that on pretty heavy. Kind of get the sides. All right, so let's flip this over. Now our presentation side. This is the side we're really going to take care of. Now all these knife marks here, I don't know if I made that or if it came from the butcher like that. We're going to see what it looks like after it cooks. Hit it with a little bit of mustard. Nice. Fight the flies. Again, Rob's Mate. Can't wait to try the 2.0. I'm really excited for that one. Rob is always coming out with new product, and I'm really excited to try every one of them. Then we'll take his Trainwreck and go pretty heavy on it. As I've mentioned before, I'm gonna cook it in the barrel today. So we're gonna see how these things come out and about how long they take. All right, let me take you over to the barrel. Okay, so I've obviously already started this barrel. What I did is added a little bit of charcoal, and we're gonna be cooking this thing with some post oak logs. So I'm gonna set these things down. Actually, I don't plan on hanging them in the barrel when it comes to this cook, because I want a particular shape for these things to cook in. So we're gonna put them in the barrel, kind of bunch them up, and hopefully they cook nice and straight like that. Let's see if I can get you guys in there. There it is. So let's get them to cook like that. We're gonna put the lid on and just let these things go for about 250 degrees to 275 for a couple of hours. All right, so we're at about hour 2 for these ribs, maybe about 2 hours, 20 minutes to be exact. We're steady rocking temperatures, about 250 to 275. And with this one, it doesn't seem like the bark is fully set. It's starting to set a little bit in some places, kind of pooling in different areas. Go ahead and tip that over. Get some of that liquid off. It's set here with some nice pullback from the actual rib. Not fully there. I'll let this go for just a little bit longer, and then we'll get ready for the next step. Okay, so these pork ribs are ready to come out of the barrel smoker. Now this is the point where I usually wrap them in some foil, meat side down, but today, because we're getting ready for a competition, I wanted to try some different methods, and we're gonna be using some butcher paper. So let's go ahead and get that ready. So what we have here is some Reynolds butcher paper. You see a lot of other barbecue channels using this because of the ease of it. So we'll go ahead and pull this out, and then using this little slicer, just make that cut. Nice clean cut. To keep this from flying around, in the beef video I've switched to some Worcestershire and some apple cider vinegar, and we'll just use this to kind of spray down and to hold down our butcher paper here. I think that the butcher paper might be a little nice because it'll accept some smoke, unlike foil. Maybe it'll make a difference in the how much smoke that it gets on the ribs, but we're gonna see. So let me go ahead and grab those. So there's our ribs, looking pretty good to me. At this point, I'm gonna take a little bit of some paper towel and just kind of wipe these bone ends off, just to get into the habit of making a nice clean presentation. I don't know how much it's gonna matter with these amateur judges, but any points help. So we'll go ahead and lay that down. Meat side up. We'll hit it with some more of this Worcestershire apple cider, just to get some hydration on these ribs. And then let's wrap them up. Let's scoot them down here some. There you have yourself some nice wrapped up ribs, and we'll go ahead and throw them back on the smoker. So it is now time to get a temp on these ribs. Now don't pay attention to what I've got hanging in there, or laying in there I should say. I just threw them in there because it was extra food. So we'll go ahead and temp these things out. We're temping at about, let's see, 190. Let's check a couple of other ones. 193, 195. So we're temping at about 197 from what I can see. The ends are a little bit hotter. We're gonna pull them off, put some sauce on them, and then throw them back on. All right, so now that we're back at the cutting board, let's go ahead and take these things out of here. You can see all that juice that's in there. Looking real nice. You've got some pretty nice pullback and really good flexibility without it breaking just yet. Save this for some lighter fluid almost. Now this isn't the barbecue sauce that I want to use in the competition, but I wanted to try something different because we are eating these here. I'm going to use Rob's. Now it is also an award-winning. His sweet tangy sauce. We'll give this a shot. And we'll just pour that over. Now I close the lid on the barrel so that way we can get the temperatures lower. No airflow, so it's going to lower the temp just a little bit, so that way we can just kind of rest these things in there at a lower temperature. Ooh, that is just looking good. Take a look at those. All right, so I'm gonna go throw these back on the barrel and just kind of drop the temp on them a little bit and get this sauce nice and tacked up. All right, so our ribs are fully rested. Look at those things, they look pretty nice. I do like the color. Maybe we'll mess with some things on a later experiment. Got a nice bend to them. Came off at about 206, maybe just slightly above that, which I actually want. Maybe next time I'll take them to about 210. We're gonna go right for the middle. Oh, look at that rib. I mean, it's looking juicy. Let's give it a bite. Right down to the bone. So nice. That's a perfect cooked rib, in my opinion. Perfect bite off the bone. But what I will say, advice that I was given was to take these ribs a little bit past that perfect bite because they are amateur judges, and if they don't know how to score a KCBS rib, then they could say, oh, slightly underdone, or I want that fall off the bone rib, which we all know isn't really but teach their own, whatever. But because they're amateur, I think I'll take them a little bit longer. Let's try one on the end to see if that's more fall off the bone for them. Let's check this out. That might pass for them. Still a wonderfully tasting rib. Well, that's gonna do it for today's video. And if you guys like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. Can't wait to take you guys to the competition with me. But until then, peace.